What's up, pretty gang? It's your favorite nail tech Peaches back with another video, and today I'm gonna teach you how I do bling Frenchies without painting the French first.
Because clickety motherfucking clack the bad back.
Okay, let's really get back on track. So this is the picker that I'm using today by Not Polish. You already know, use my coupon code. And for those of you guys who want some extra mentorship, you want video calls, you want a group chat, you really want to be able to keep in contact with me and get that extra info, don't forget to join my channel membership, become extra pretty. Those are all the perks on the screen, of course, and we're going to just jump into it. So here are the brand of bling that I like to use. I did a whole video on bling from Hobby Lobby as well as Michael's. Here is the glue. You can find that on Amazon. I have an Amazon storefront, of course. You can also find some bling options that I use on my Amazon storefront. So prep. What I mean by prep is, right, because it's clear that I am pretty much doing this bling off the dome. I'm freestyling it. This is how I prefer to do it, and I'm going to teach you how to do it too. What is the most concerning part about this whole look is making sure everything looks nice and even. So you really kind of need to plan ahead and think, what am I going to do to ensure that all of these are nice and even, similar shape as possible? Okay, so what I did was put some stones to the side. I realized, let me go ahead and take up a good portion of the nail with some shapes. So now that we're on to the application, I'm just going to go ahead and lay down my glue resin, and then I'm going to lay down the shape smack in the middle, basically around the area where I want the middle of the smile line to be. Okay, so I went ahead and did that. You guys are going to see me flipping the hand over. That is me checking to make sure that it is nice and even. Now, I'm not going to lie. Using this stone picker right here had me a little bit out of my element because I've never used one where the nose of it, like the needle part, is so long and skinny. But, you know, I liked it. I gave it a chance and I liked it. So as you guys can see, this is me checking my work. That is going to be the other main pointer I have for you guys. Do not go about this without checking your work, because if something dries, you're in trouble if it dries wrong, okay? So I am going ahead and using a lot of the SS10 and 12s for this smile line right here. And I am pretty much lining it up. If you guys can't see, but I put a tiny little, like a SS5 or 7 size bling right on top of the shape, just to give it that middle point. You have to be careful because a lot of times, if you don't match things up correctly, you can have the smile lines actually not look rounded, and they will look more jagged just because of all the gapping in between the bling. So I highly suggest you start with the smile line in the center point of the nail and then build around that, fill everything else in. The reason why I don't draw the French tips is, number one, do you know how much extra time that takes? This already took 4 hours as it was, including the set and doing all this bling design. Now, typically on my site, something with this much bling is only scheduled for 3 hours. However, this is extra tedious because I have to match things up a certain way. This is also something that most people don't get, so that's why I don't, be like, oh, okay, let me just add the extra hour. Okay, usually this is something that people let me know in advance that they want, and I can go ahead and adjust the time accordingly. So there's that. So as you guys can see, I am placing and I am checking and placing and checking. Now, normally you guys see me do my French tips, I start with the index finger, but for some reason I went ahead and started with the pinky. Honestly, I think because while I was prepping and I was kind of in my head about stuff, I was like, let me just make sure this is what I want. Okay, so the reason why the smile lines are a lot up higher is because this is a jelly background, and I already knew she would not like to be seeing as much nail as possible, if you get what I'm saying. So those are things you want to factor in while you're doing this method. So what I'm basically doing now is filling in any sort of gaps after I've done the smile line. You're going to want to make sure that you're happy with the shape, with the length of the smile line, basically meaning how far up or down, like towards the tip it is, because once this is set in stone, it's set in stone, and you're going to have a really hard time taking this shit off once you put it on. Okay, so when I'm doing the tips of the nails, I don't like to do just all circles. I typically will add a shape in there so that way I can use the corner of a shape to really enhance the sharpness. This is a really good trick. I've been doing this for years because you want to keep the shape of the nail. Now, I'm not a person that just does one straight row of everything, like to where it's like, oh, 5 rows of exactly the same size bling. I prefer to stagger the bling Now this helps with being able to fill in little gaps, especially because I use curved tips, so it's not a flat surface as if you were working with like really flat tips, you know what I'm saying, flat straight tips. Now the reason why I like to stagger, number one, you get a really great bling effect. I'm talking about like ching 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 ching, like really bling to the max. Okay. Number two, like I said, it allows you to use a various amount of shapes and sizes, so that way you can have as much coverage as possible. And that is a reason as to why I also don't draw the background first with like a glitter or anything like that, because that I stagger sizes, it fills in little spots and gaps that you would be using polish for. You see what I'm saying? Another reason why I do not like to draw the French tips first is also because it adds bulkiness onto the nail. And then if something happens to the polish, let's say it's not cured correctly while you're putting stuff on top, that can also affect the bling, because if the polish peels, the bling peels. It's gone. That's it. That's all there is. Okay. So those were the main reasons as to why I even do this method. I've been doing it like this for years. Like I've told you guys before, once I stopped watching so many YouTube videos and just kind of, you figure things out for yourself and find your own methods, I've had way more success with that. Now, I am using the Bling resin gel once again, or excuse me, the resin glue, because once I'm doing this method, like normally you guys see me seal around the bling and stuff, which I still do, but this gel resin is glue resin. Well, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's so much thicker than regular nail glue that when I place it down and I'm sliding bling around, it automatically seals the other blings. Okay, so here is pretty much the final result of the pinky of what I have here, and we're going to move on to the next portion. Now, this portion is basically about how I get the other nails to pretty much match up. Okay, and the reason why I wanted to show this instead of just automatically showing like all of the nails, like me just doing it, is because cross-checking is a very important part of this method. Now, there are no guidelines that I can go by to make sure that everything is where it should be. So what I have to do is cross-check each and every nail, just like I would with a regular French tip if I was drawing it, and then I'll go ahead and add based on that. Now, right here, I kind of was thinking like, dang, I wish I would have, moved that stuff a little lower. You guys are going to see me try and move it, and of course, it's kind of drying. Now, if you make a mistake, the thing that you need to do is grab your nippers. See how I'm going to grab them quickly and pop things off before it's dry. Now, I don't know why I grabbed these big ones, because I thought the little ones was not around, but they actually ended up being around. And then I'm just going to go ahead and move things as I feel. Now, you want to be careful again, because, y'all, I cannot control the phone. Hold on, let me come back. All right, so like I was saying, you want to be careful, because the last thing that you want to do is over or underestimate, because that's going to give you a really funny look. Now, granted, nothing is going to be perfect as far as full bling nails, just for the simple fact of each and every nail can be just a little bit different as far as the shape of the person's finger, the size of the nail bed, the size of the nail. So yes, there may be little discrepancies here and there, but what you don't want is a very noticeable look. You do not want any part of the smile line to be shifted to the left or to the right. You want everything to be as center as possible, which is why I'm using the other fingers as a guide. So cross-checking simply means checking your work. You're double, triple checking. Now, it is really important to have your bling set up in a way to where you can assure that you are going to have the same exact sizes. So you guys see me, I'm picking up bling. I'm basically comparing it to the other finger. You saw me pretty much putting it up against the other stones that are already there. So I can basically make sure that, yes, this is the same size and shape. So that way you have a consistent look all the way around. Now, what happens if you do not do this? See how I'm kind of checking the bling against the other blings that's already there? If you do not do this, what is going to happen is you're going to have areas that look either very like it looks like something is missing, or you're going to have something that's very bulky and standing out and looks like there's too much. So every time I turn the fingers around, that's how I'm looking to see, am I keeping up with the shape? Is this the right thickness of the nail? Because if you're not careful, you will have your nails look too bulky, or again, too tapered, and that is what I see as a problem. So every time I look from this angle, I'm making sure that I'm following the shape of the nail. As you guys can see, I want these to be the same exact square shape as what I shaped the acrylic. That is like major. So I only take the bling so far up. Now granted, when I do the French tips with polish, it is a little bit differently shaped, but again, this is with bling and we need to keep a very consistent look and make sure it's not too bulky or anything like that. Now, if you're struggling to keeping things exactly where they need to be, you can always you can always grab your glue dry spray. Okay, I have some linked in my Amazon storefront, and you can go ahead and keep stuff in place. Okay, so you guys can see I take my little nippers because I felt like something was wrong. As soon as I felt like something is wrong, I'm taking it off. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead with my e-file and just file that little area so that way I can get rid of the built-up glue, and then go ahead and try again. So after each nail, I'll go ahead and spray glue dry spray, which is why you see like a white cast. That is something that will go away. Some people use alcohol. Sometimes you can like if you accidentally get top coat on them and rub it off, that will take it away. But overall, most of the time as clients go about their day, wash their hands, shower, all that's going to go away. So I'm hoping that this really helped you guys. Of course, afterwards, I used the glue and went around all the perimeter as well as with top coat and just sealed everything that way. And then I pretty much got my final result. I hope this helps you guys, for those who are looking for a different technique or a less time consuming technique than what's kind of out there. If you're a creative person and you're very geometrically inclined, this is a great technique for you. Again, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, notifications on, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.